My dear chosen ones, today we are going to talk about a topic that touches all of us at some point in life. Grief. Losing someone or something we love is one of the hardest experiences we can face. This pain can leave us disoriented, making us question the meaning of life and the purpose behind so much sadness. It is natural that, in the face of this pain, we want to distance ourselves from it, believing that over time, it will disappear on its own. But does that really happen? The truth is that the grief we do not confront does not disappear. It hides within us, waiting for the right moment to manifest again, often in ways that can harm our emotional health, our faith, and even our relationships. Ignoring the pain may seem like a temporary solution, but in reality, it is a path that can lead us to even greater suffering. Today, I invite you to reflect on the 7 signs that may indicate that you are running from your grief. Let's explore together how we can face this pain in a healthy and spiritual way, allowing God to transform our suffering into purpose. It is important to remember that, as Proverbs 14:13 teaches us, even in laughter, the heart may ache and joy may end in grief. Do not be afraid to look at your pain. God desires to heal and strengthen you. At this moment, I want you to feel welcomed and understood. Grief is a journey that we do not have to face alone. Throughout this video, we will share insights and reflections that can help you deal with this pain in a lighter and more hopeful way. And before we continue, I ask that you follow our channel. This way, you won't miss any message that can bring comfort and wisdom to your life. Let's walk together on this journey of faith and healing. When we are dealing with the pain of loss, it is common to seek ways to escape that suffering. One of the most evident signs that we are running from grief is the tendency to adopt compulsive behaviors. These behaviors can take various forms, such as overeating, impulsively spending money, spending hours on social media, or even abusing substances. Although these activities may seem like a temporary relief, they do not resolve the pain we are feeling. Often, when we confront the pain of grief, our first reaction is to try to avoid it at all costs. Food, for example, can become a refuge. By overeating, we seek comfort in something that brings us momentary pleasure. However, this satisfaction is fleeting, and after the act, the pain will still be there, often intensified by guilt or the physical discomfort that comes with excess. The same goes for alcohol consumption or other substances. These refuges may provide us with temporary relief, but deep down, they only take us further away from true healing. Social media can also become an escape. Spending hours scrolling through feeds, liking photos, and interacting with friends can distract us from the pain we feel. However, this distraction is superficial. Instead of facing our feelings, we are merely postponing the inevitable. The truth is that by hiding behind these distractions, we are moving away from the opportunity to process our pain and find a path to healing. As Proverbs 28:13 teaches us, "Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy." This truth is fundamental. God does not want you to anesthetize your pain. He wants you to confront it with courage and faith. It is in confronting our emotions that we find true liberation. When we allow the pain to surface, we begin to understand what we really feel, and thus, we can start to heal. Facing grief is not easy. It is a process that requires courage and vulnerability. Often, we are afraid to look at the pain, as this may make us feel even weaker or more helpless. However, it is important to remember that God is with us every step of this journey. He offers us support and strength to face our deepest feelings. Instead of running away, we can seek help from friends, family, or even professionals who can guide us through this process. When we begin to recognize these compulsive behaviors as signs that we are avoiding grief, we can take the first step toward healing. This means stopping and reflecting on what we are doing to distract ourselves. Ask yourself, am I really dealing with my pain or just trying to forget it? This reflection can be a powerful starting point. It is essential to create a safe space to feel and process our emotions. This can include moments of silence, meditation, or prayer. By allowing ourselves to feel the pain, we are opening the door to healing. God desires for you to feel free to express your emotions, whether through tears, outbursts, or even writing in a journal. Each of these actions is a step toward liberation. Furthermore, it is important to cultivate healthy habits that help us deal with pain constructively. Instead of seeking temporary refuges, we can choose activities that promote well-being, such as physical exercise, creative hobbies, or moments of connection with nature. These practices not only distract us, but also help us process our emotions in a healthier way. Remember that grief is a personal and unique journey. Each of us deals with pain differently, and there is no right or wrong way. The important thing is to be aware of how we are reacting to the pain, and to seek healthy ways to face it. By doing this, we are allowing God to work in our lives, transforming our pain into purpose and growth. If you identified with these compulsive behaviors, know that you are not alone. Many of us face this struggle at some point in our lives. The first step is to recognize that we are avoiding grief, and then to seek ways to confront it with courage and faith. God is by your side, ready to guide and support you every step of this journey. Instead of hiding from the pain, allow yourself to feel it, and thus begin to walk the path of healing. When we face grief, it is common for loneliness to become a refuge. Many people, when dealing with the pain of loss, choose to isolate themselves. They avoid social interactions, fearing questions that may bring the pain to the surface, or judgments that may seem insensitive. This choice, while understandable, does not bring relief. In fact, loneliness tends to deepen the pain, making the grieving process even more difficult. Loneliness may seem like a temporary solution, but in reality, it can turn into a vicious cycle. By distancing ourselves from others, we lose the opportunity to share our feelings and experiences. The pain becomes heavier when we carry it alone. It's as if we are trying to swim against the current, with no one to help us. The truth is that by isolating ourselves, we are depriving ourselves of the support and love that God has placed around us. Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." This means that we need each other to grow and strengthen. Our social interactions are essential for our emotional health. When we share our struggles with friends or family, we find comfort and understanding. They can offer us a different perspective, help us see the light at the end of the tunnel, and remind us that we are not alone on this journey. God created us to live in communion. He knows that life is easier when we have people by our side. When we allow others into our lives, we open up space for healing. The emotional support we receive from friends and family can be a balm for the pain of grief. Sometimes all we need is someone to listen to us, to hug us, and to tell us that it is okay to feel pain. It is important to remember that we do not need to share all the details of our pain with everyone. We can choose trusted individuals. Those we know will support us without judgment. Talking to someone who has gone through a similar experience can be especially comforting. They can offer valuable insights and show that pain can be overcome. If you feel comfortable, consider joining support groups. These groups bring together people who are going through similar experiences and can provide a safe space to share and listen. Connecting with others who understand what you are going through can be extremely powerful. Together you can find strength and hope. Additionally, do not underestimate the power of prayer and meditation. Seeking God's presence in moments of solitude can bring peace and comfort. He is always willing to listen to our pains and offer us solace. In prayer, you can express your deepest feelings and ask God to help you open your heart to others. Remember that grief is a unique journey for each person. There is no right or wrong way to deal with pain. The important thing is to recognize when isolation is becoming an obstacle and to seek ways to reconnect with others. Embrace the support of those around you. Allow them to strengthen you and remind you that you are not alone. If you feel comfortable, start taking small steps to reconnect. It can be as simple as sending a message to a friend or inviting someone for coffee. These small interactions can make a big difference in how you feel. By opening your heart and allowing others into your life, you will be taking an important step toward healing. The journey of grief can be long and challenging, but remember that you do not have to face it alone. God is by your side, and He has placed people in your life to help you. By allowing yourself to be vulnerable and seeking support, you will find strength and hope to continue. Communion is an essential part of the healing process, and by opening up to others, you will be allowing the light to enter your life again. When we keep ourselves too busy, we believe we are making progress, but in reality, we are merely pushing the pain under the rug. This busyness can manifest in various ways: working overtime, diving into projects, making endless to-do lists, or even engaging in non-stop social activities. While these actions may give us a temporary sense of control, they do not resolve the pain we feel inside. The proverb from Ecclesiastes 3:4 reminds us that there is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. This passage teaches us that life is made up of cycles and that each emotion has its place. Grief is a natural part of life, and it is essential to give yourself permission to feel this pain. When we try to ignore or minimize our feelings, we are denying an important part of our human experience. God calls us to pause, reflect, and feel. He desires for us to connect with our emotions instead of hiding from them. Taking moments to process what we are feeling is crucial for healing. This can include moments of silence, meditation, or even writing in a journal. By allowing ourselves to feel the pain, we are opening space for healing and transformation. It is normal to feel overwhelmed by intense emotions during grief. Sometimes, sadness can feel unbearable, and it is understandable to want to escape it. However, it is important to remember that facing the pain is a necessary step to move forward. When we allow our emotions to surface, we begin to understand better what we are going through and can thus find a path to healing. One way to cope with grief healthily is to establish a routine that includes moments of reflection and self-care. This may mean setting aside time each day to sit in silence, pray, or meditate. These moments of pause are essential for processing what we are feeling and reconnecting with ourselves. By doing this, we are allowing God to enter our lives and help us deal with the pain. Additionally, it is important to find a balance between busyness and rest. Working is important, but we also need time to relax and recharge. This can include activities that bring us joy, such as spending time with friends, practicing a hobby, or simply enjoying a moment of tranquility. These breaks are essential for our mental and emotional health. If you find yourself diving into excessive busyness, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you are feeling. Ask yourself, am I really dealing with my pain or just trying to distract myself? This reflection can be an important step in recognizing that the pain needs to be faced, not ignored. Remember that grief is a personal and unique journey. Each of us deals with pain differently, and there is no right or wrong way. The important thing is to be aware of how we are reacting to the pain and to seek healthy ways to confront it. By doing this, we are allowing God to work in our lives, transforming our pain into purpose and growth. Excessive busyness may seem like a solution, but in reality, it is a way to avoid what we truly need to face. By setting aside moments to process our emotions, we are taking an important step toward healing. Do not be afraid to feel. Allow yourself to cry, reflect, and above all, trust that God is by your side, guiding you every step of this journey. When we face grief, the pain we feel can manifest in various ways. One of the most common reactions is the transformation of that pain into anger. This anger can be directed at close people, at God, or even at ourselves. It is important to understand that this emotion is a natural response to suffering, but it can also become an obstacle if not properly recognized and addressed. Anger, when repressed, can accumulate and become a destructive force. Often we do not know how to deal with the pain we feel, and anger becomes a way to express that frustration. We may feel irritated with those around us, even if they are not to blame for our pain. This irritation can lead to unnecessary arguments and a distancing from the people we love. It's as if we are projecting our pain onto those around us, and this can harm important relationships. Proverbs 15:1 teaches us that a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. This passage reminds us of the importance of how we react to situations. When we are dealing with the pain of grief, it is easy to let anger take over us. However, it is essential to find ways to express this emotion healthily. Instead of allowing anger to control us, we can choose to respond with calmness and understanding. Do not underestimate the power of self-care. Take time to relax and do things you enjoy. This may include hobbies, reading, or simply spending time with loved ones. These activities can help relieve stress and promote a more positive mental state. Remember that grief is a process that takes time, and each of us deals with pain differently. It is normal to feel overwhelmed at times, but it is important to seek healthy ways to face this pain. By taking care of your body and mind, you will be taking important steps toward healing. The manifestation of pain in the body is a sign that something needs to be addressed. By paying attention to these signals and seeking help, you can find a path to recovery. God is by your side, ready to offer comfort and healing. Trust in Him and allow Him to guide your journey of healing, both emotionally and physically. Chosen one. Facing grief is a difficult but necessary journey. Running away from pain will never be the solution. Instead, God invites us to live it with faith and hope, trusting that He will transform our suffering into strength. Every tear we shed and every moment of pain we face are opportunities for us to grow and draw closer to Him. Through pain, we can discover a new depth in our faith and a renewed purpose in our lives. The final proverb reminds us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. This promise is a powerful comfort. God does not abandon us in our darkest moments. He is present, ready to offer us support and love. When we feel lost and alone, we can be assured that He is by our side, ready to lift us up and guide us. If you have recognized any of these signs in your life, know that God is by your side. He knows your tears and hears your prayers. Do not be afraid to open up to Him, to express your pain, and to seek comfort. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to cry, but above all, allow yourself to trust. Trusting in God is a fundamental step toward healing. When we hand over our worries and fears to Him, we find peace amid the storm. Remember, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Matthew 5:4. This passage reminds us that grief is not a sign of weakness, but a natural part of the human experience. The pain we feel is real, but it is also temporary. God promises comfort and renewal for those who seek His presence. By facing grief with courage and faith, we can discover that pain can transform into a testimony of strength and resilience. May the Lord bring comfort and renewal to your heart. You are not alone. In every step of this journey, remember that God is by your side, ready to transform your pain into purpose. By allowing Him into your life, you will find not only healing, but also hope and strength to move forward. The journey of grief may be long, but with God, we can find a path of light and renewal. Trust in Him and allow Him to transform your pain into something beautiful and meaningful.